Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Outside Food and Drink. I'm Jean.
I'm Victoria.
Today we're wrapping up Be Mine February with 2025's Together, directed by Michael Shanks. She's smiling, so this is going to be a fun one. A not engaged couple who has somehow gotten well into adulthood with no actual practical knowledge of the world except for how to dry out their phone moves to a small town where they resent each other. That's the movie.
Well, you summed it up, but you missed all the great parts.
This had some controversy around it. There's controversy about the provenance of the screenplay, and we're not going to get into it. It's a legal matter. And I'm not saying I don't care, but I don't know enough about it to have an intelligent opinion, so we're just going to not even talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a movie. It's out, and we watched it.
And whoever is the person suing them, this is really their concern, I'm sure, I don't even know. I think the lawsuit might have been settled. I don't even know.
I don't know. I mean, it probably was since the movie came out, but who knows?
I will be honest with you. I've known about this movie since the controversy began. I was kind of reticent about it because I love Alison Brie. Love her.
Yes.
I'm not the biggest Dave Franco fan. It's very rare that there is going to be an actor or a director involved in something that I hate so much that I'm just not going to watch the movie. I don't hate Dave Franco. I'm ambivalent towards him, whereas I love Alison Brie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good movies that came out last year, so this movie was not at the top of my list.
Yes.
But we did get around to seeing it. We open up in a lush forest, probably the Pacific Northwest. It seems like the whole thing feels like the Pacific Northwest. Search party looking for a missing couple. There's some dogs at the bottom of I call it a cave, but it's kind of a depression in the forest.
Yeah, I was wondering, is it a cave or just a cave-in or a hole?
Well, we'll find out what it is by the end of the movie. And there's these dogs at the bottom of this cave, and there's this ominous pool, and the dogs are drinking out of it because dogs will drink out of toilets. They don't care.
I hope they had their shots because that shot for the dirty water when dogs drink it and they can get sick.
Well, obviously it was not effective.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, didn't matter if they had their shot or not.
I don't know what effects were going on here with these dogs. I don't know how much was effects and how much were these just really well-trained dogs that were just freezing in weird positions and staring at each other in the kennel.
Yeah.
It was really good.
It was.
So the guy who owns the dogs, again, they were search dogs. They were part of the search party that was looking for this missing couple.
Yeah, they were just privately owned.
And the guy that owns them, it was very much, I feel like this opening prepared me for the movie because this opening was very much giving the thing. This guy hears strange noises coming from the kettle in the middle of the night. He goes out there. He is more concerned about his dogs than Clark was in the thing, though, because he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Yeah.
And the dogs are
frozen in a weird position, molded together.
Yes, it does look like the thing. It looks like something from the thing, where everything's kind of smushed together and looking weird. I do like the camera work here.
Yeah.
They don't linger. They give you just enough to know that something is very wrong before they cut away.
Yes, they did.
You can't quite make sense of it.
Yeah, because when I saw that part, I was like, no, go back. I can't get a good look. Go back.
Yeah. So I like that. Now we're flashing to our hero, Tim. This is Dave Franco's character. Millie is Alison Brie's character. They're having a party at their apartment. He's going through some actual record albums,
Vinyls.
LPs, yeah. And there's some old photos in there. Well, they're moving. Okay. You start getting a picture of them as a couple here. They're moving. I have some commentary about this particular situation. We don't really know much about what Alison Brie does at this point. But they're moving, and we know that Tim is a guitarist. He's a musician. And he has some buddies there at the party, and they're going to go on tour. And even though they're moving, he makes this commitment to help them join them on their tour, which there's going to be some travel involved. And we find out later that he doesn't have a driver's license. He also has to end up relying on her for everything, for trying to get anywhere once they move.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that. They never went into great detail about it.
Yeah, the whole idea is that she's not really his girlfriend. She's more like just his mother because he's very stunted. He's not a fully developed grown-up person.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we do find out there might be some reason for this, but there's a lot of subtext, subtext going on in this movie.
Yes.
So they're at this party, and she does this in front of everybody, this packed party. In front of everybody, she does this weird surprise proposal thing to him. And he's like, I
know, he's just standing there like, he didn't know what to say.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to do something like this, you got to be confident of what the answer is going to be. But also, it's kind of fucked up because even if it was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to marry you, it's like, this is kind of like, everybody's here and you've caught me off guard and what...
And it was weird because there's nothing in her hands, but she's got them closed, and then she like opens it, pretending like she's opening like a ring box. And I was like, that's weird. Sometimes
I feel, this is the type of thing where it's like, you're asking us to do too much work for this movie.
Yes.
There's some movies definitely earn the work to put into them, and I feel like I'm not saying anything bad about this movie because you will hear at the end I actually like this movie, but I think for what this movie is, it's asking us to do a lot of work, and I just am not interested. I'm not trying to figure out what they're doing with this kid. And as a couple, this couple, I don't think we're supposed to particularly like them. And maybe relate to them more than like them.
Yeah. I mean, there were times when I didn't like her and times when I didn't like him and when I did like them both,
Yeah.
so.
They're very off-putting. They're too self-aware. Like, if you knew this couple in real life, you'd be like, you're just insufferably self-aware all the time. I hate it. Oh, we can't do an even vaguely friendly Facebook post about our move because people think we're just basic bitches or who cares?
Why are you posting you're moving anyway? Now your stalker's gonna follow you.
Anyway,
sorry, no stalker in the movie, just saying.
Okay, so they're having this talk in bed that night. He has whiskey dick. I'm like, he has whiskey dick. He's very confused right now because things are happening and you're being weird. But anyway, he has this very weird dream. So they're laying there, her back is towards him, and she's basically telling him he's just inadequate as a human being. And he's like, wait, what? And we get some weird flashes of things that we don't know yet what they are or what they mean, but we'll find out in a little bit. And next thing, he wakes up and they're in their new house.
Yes.
I have questions.
How'd they get there?
How'd they get there? Did they sleep through the whole thing? I don't hate this as a transition. Yes, we know they moved, but we didn't have to get into the nitty-gritty of the actual mechanics of the move, so this is a nice way to do the transition.
Yeah.
I actually like that. I do have questions here. So, like I said, I feel pretty sure they're in Northern California or the Pacific Northwest. They have this house. This is not a shabby house at all. This is pretty nice. Pretty quaint little house. I like this house. And I'm like, do we still not know what she does? Then we find out. We figure out here, she's a teacher. And he's a musician, and we find out later he's not a particularly successful musician. He's maybe a working musician, kind of. But he's not, like, making millions or anything like that. I don't even know if he's making a full, like, I can support myself salary. So we have a teacher, a person on a teacher's salary.
Which is not a lot.
Which is not a lot, especially a teacher. Now, she is supporting two grown-ass people, herself and this guy, in the Pacific Northwest, and they're buying this nice house. They say it's a small town. I'm like, yeah, but still. This isn't small town, middle of nowhere. This is obviously a small town near things where they build nice houses. This is not like a dead area, right? I'm like, on a teacher's salary? On a teacher's salary? I mean, I guess she had to be a teacher maybe not, but I guess maybe a teacher is probably like one of the couple professions that would have worked well with the story.
I guess.
Because the things that have to happen or whatever, but.
Yeah.
But anyway, got a couple other questions here. He's got this jigsaw. They're going through their. I'm not clear if
that was so funny.
Did the jigsaw come with the house or was part of their stuff?
I think it. So he had a box of stuff the jigsaw was in.
Yes.
And he said something about it being his father's.
Okay, that's possible. I have a question though. He clearly has never touched a power tool before in his life. This jigsaw did not appear to have a plug, did not appear to have a battery. So I don't know how it was jumping to life when he pulled the trigger.
I don't know. I noticed there was no battery. Because, most power tools, you either plug in or battery.
You have to. It's a power tool by definition. It has to have power.
Yeah.
So,
but I didn't see either one either.
Yes. So we have the cosmically powered jigsaw here that will be important later. They make sure to show us this jigsaw because it will be important later, and I do have something to say about that when it comes up, so we'll talk about that. But I did want to mention that as soon as I saw this jigsaw, I'm like, how is it turning on? Like, nobody's obviously touched this thing since whoever put it in the box put it there.
Yeah.
So if it did have a battery, that battery is dead, but it's not plugged in. So I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah, because he takes it out, it jumps to life, because he's like,
he touches the trigger,
and he's like, maybe I can fix the back porch with this, and then it comes to life and starts going off, and he puts it back in the box, and he tells her, remind me never to touch that again.
Yes, no, well, we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, there's a smell in the house.
Yes.
We find out later why, but he looks up in the foyer. There's this light fixture, and he decides that he's going to get up there. I guess that's where he figures the smell is coming from. And
it's
again,
like a little chandelier thing. Yeah.
Yeah. We saw how he treats power tools. I feel confident that he did not turn off the breaker before he went up there.
Let's just say when that part came up, I looked at her. I was like, did he turn off the electricity or anything?
He's going to electrocute himself. He's going to die. But that's not what happens. He pulls this thing out of the ceiling. What is it, like a rat king? What do they call them? Okay, there's two things. There's a king rat and there's rat king. I think it's a rat king where they get tangled up in their tails. I think they call it a rat king because they tend to end up like kind of in a circular type shape, but they get all tied up in their tails and they move and lay down. It's really weird. I think that's what this was.
I just thought it was a bunch of rats in a nest.
But I think they'd all kind of gotten tangled up.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a very funny scene. Millie, first day on the job. We meet Carol. And Amelia's just sitting there drinking her tea. And Carol's like, did you bring that from home or did you get that from my tin?
And I'm just like, really? If you're bringing it to work, it's up for shares.
Unless you keep it in your desk or something.
Yeah.
Like, I guard my shit with my life.
I mean, break room.
I don't put my shit in my break room. I have ice packs and I keep it behind my desk. Nobody's touching my lunch.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it's in the break room, wouldn't it be meant for...
Yes. If you don't want other people touching your shit, don't put it in the break room.
Exactly.
So,
bitch, back off.
Back off. This is where we meet Mr. McCabe. I keep calling him McCabe. That's his last name. His first name is Jamie. And he kind of saves Millie from Carol.
He's like, don't worry about her.
She knows a lot about dry old bags or something really...
Yeah, something about the dry old bags, yeah.
It was funny. Find out they're neighbors, kind of, as much as you're going to be neighbors where everything's a mile apart,
He lives in the yellow house.
The yellow house, yeah. And he drops in here, he had been on the hiring committee for her.
Yes.
So that's how he knew her, without a lot of introduction. But he drops a line in here about, you should check out some of the trails in the area.
Yes.
And she gets home. Tim is practicing his guitar parts for this tour he's potentially going to go on, and she wants to have sex, and he's like, oh babe, I'm practicing my parts, I can't. And she's like, all right, fine. He's like, well, how about tomorrow we're gonna do that hike you wanted to do, And she's like, yeah, all right. And then so she goes away. He keeps looking up at this light. This is not the light that he got the Rat King out of. It's the light in his studio. On their hike the next day, we get these weird little bells. We're seeing these weird little bells in random trees. They look like the cave that the dogs had been in. There had been this big bell that looked just like this.
Yes.
It's kind of like embedded into the mouth of the cave.
And on the bell is something sketched on it. It looks like a sun.
It does. It's actually, I gotta say, as far as like props and things go from movies, I like these bells.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting one of these bells. I'm not going to do things with it. I just want the bell. I got the dirtiest look just now. But anyway, so Tim assumes that these bells are marking a path. I guess they kind of are. There's a southern storm. They have no idea what they're doing. I don't know why they wanted to go for a hike, because they're clearly not outdoors people.
Yeah, he takes his phone out and he's like, the compass says north is that way, and he points, and she's like, what does that mean? He's like, I don't know. I thought it would help.
It means if you walk far enough, you'll get to the North Pole. That's what it means. Yes, they go out there, no idea where they are. North doesn't do them any good because they don't know what they're doing. They're not prepared. Even a little bit, they don't have enough water, nothing. And he's turns around, he's walking backwards while he's talking, and he steps and he falls into the fucking dog pit. Right? Well, the dogs are not there anymore. The pit where the dogs were. Okay. This is an important scene. I have so many questions about it. They get bad vibes. So she's trying to help him out of the pit. I mean, they both end up there.
Yeah, he's hanging on the bell.
Yeah. And so they both end up in the pit. And they're getting bad vibes from this place. And she's like, well, it feels crowded. But also the whole inside of this, even aside from the weird water, the whole inside of this place looks like a H.R. Geiger painting. It's all veiny and dark. So anyway, so they're at the bottom of this pit. So they don't have enough water. They somehow have a bottle of wine. They have a bottle. Is it wine or beer?
I think it's wine. The way the bottle looked, it looked like wine.
They have a bottle of wine. Or they have a canteen that does not have any water in it, hardly. Like, not enough.
Yeah. He gives the canteen to her and says, and he pulls out the bottle. He's like, this is the other bottle.
Yeah, but she doesn't have her own canteen. They went out into the woods with a bottle of wine and a half-empty canteen.
Like, who does that?
On. Like, you always assume you're going to get lost. Assume you're going to get lost. Assume you're going to break something. Assume you're going to somehow get disabled. I mean, just assume it.
Yeah, you need a couple bottles of water. At least.
Yeah. But anyway, you should really have something where you can actually, if you have to get water from another source, you can do that safely also.
Yes.
But anyway, enough hiking tips from us. I do want to know, though, so they're in the bottom of this pit. They decide they're going to spend the night there. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get out in the morning, you can get out at night.
Yes, they got out in the morning pretty easily, so get out of there. They don't do that, though. There's a sketchy pit that we saw the dogs drinking out of. Like, this is, okay. So this guy basically tells you right here, the parallel could not be clearer. This guy is basically a dog. I love dogs, but this is golden retriever dumb here. This is, look, I love golden retrievers. I've had many dogs, and my golden retriever was like my top two. Okay, and my top two. Okay, but and they're great dogs, and I love them, but they're the dumbest, goofiest things in the world. And that's what he is. He's just basically a dumb golden retriever. And he goes and he even drinks out. He gets all crouched down to the pool and he starts drinking out. I was like, you stupid idiot. And she's like, don't drink out of that. And
he's like, it's safe.
And he drinks a little bit and he's like, see, I mean, do you think you're supposed to fall over dead the second you get bad water? I mean, you're going to be shitting your brains out in a couple hours and we'll see then, huh?
Yeah, and then he filled up the wine bottle with it.
Oh, this guy. Oh, I'm already like sympathizing with her. Like, just go. Anyway, they're talking about watching Man vs. Wild. There's a lot of survival shows that would have served them better, I think, in this situation. Okay, I know look. Any of the ones I see, like the first thing you do is like, oh no, just drink out of a random pool of water. No, you can discard anything else they say after that.
Yeah.
But okay, I want to know where they start. This fire. He's actually very successfully makes a fire. He makes the little pyramid and then he starts it up and I'm like, this is awesome. This wood is like perfect kindling. This looks like this looks like the kind of kindling that you can go into Home Depot and buy.
Yeah, I know. It did when he was doing that because I was like, you did not break it up that well.
No, you didn't.
But that's because he kicks a piece and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, Man versus Wild, I'm going to make a fire.
This wood is not appropriate. I mean, like, aside from the problems with this whole pit, this wood is not appropriate for starting a fire because it's wet.
Yeah.
It's wet. I'm sorry. I'm not going to... This whole scene drove me up the wall, though. But anyway, so we do get here. Now we're starting to get some enlightenment about him. We get some insight into the smell and the light fixture. When he was a kid, there was this bad smell, and his father kept getting on him about clean your room, because the smell was coming from his room.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, and he cleaned the room, and it still smells. His father was obsessed with the smell that wouldn't go away, and he couldn't smell anything, right? Yeah. And finally, one day he comes home from school and he says his father is standing in his room with this smile on his face. And he's like, I found it. A rat had gotten up into the light fixture over his bed, and it died. And every time he turned on the light, it was cooking. And he's going nose blind, scent blind, whatever they call it, where he gets used to it. He doesn't really smell it. He doesn't smell it because he's in it.
Yeah.
That's the rat story. Okay, so now we understand the light thing, but now we're about to understand this weird dream he had in the beginning of the movie, because in this dream, she was saying about, how do you expect me to sleep or whatever, when they're staring at us and you just get this flash of these people in bed, and then the dream ends and you don't know what you saw.
Yeah.
Well, what we saw was, apparently when his father died, he went over to his parents' house and into their room, and there was a bad smell, and he could smell it from outside the house. But this bad smell, because he's associating it with the rat, and he walks in, and his father is in bed, dead. He's just a rotting corpse. But his mother is just laying there in bed. She's alive, and she's laying in the bed with the dead father.
Yeah.
Because she just can't even process the fact that he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what he was seeing earlier in the movie.
Yes.
You know. He's getting another weird dream here where there's some weird airflow in the cave. The cave itself seems to be breathing, and I don't know where this air is supposed to, like maybe the air is coming from, like beyond this pool and stuff. He's like tripping.
Yeah.
That's what I thought at first what was happening, is he was tripping.
Yeah, he was tripping.
Yeah. I think overall I like the cave sequence, but the contrivances to get them down there, and then I guess as I get older, I'm losing my patience with certain dumb horror movie things. Like just being a dumb person.
Like the stupid things that they do to get people in those situations.
Yeah, you always get to the point where just horror movies in general are just a commentary on Darwinism. Because really, if you're stupid enough to go hiking in strange wood with no knowledge of directions and not enough water and literally just walking out there, you might as well just walk out there with the clothes on your back.
Yeah.
And then you fall into a pit, and then you just...
What do you expect?
But, yeah. So anyway, they wake up the next morning, and their legs are stuck together.
Yeah.
I guess because they had been sleeping next to each other.
Yeah, and their legs had been touching all night.
Everything in the cave is sticky now.
Yeah, and they're trying to peel their legs apart. It almost made me think of, like, when you glue your fingers together.
Yeah.
And, like, you start to pull them apart, or not glue, but, like, when you're a kid and you play with the rubber cement... And you start to peel your fingers away from the rubber cement, and it's got all these little lines of rubber cement going.
Yeah.
And you're making it bigger as you open your fingers. That's what them peeling their legs off of each other reminded me of.
Yeah, and he says it's some kind of mold or something.
I'm like, not a goddamn thing.
Well, he admits later in the movie, he's like, why would you think I know anything about mold? I don't know why anybody would think you know anything about anything.
I mean, maybe your guitar chords, but that's going to be about it, dude.
That's it, man. They get back to the house.
Yeah, they find the house today. They couldn't find it yesterday.
Yeah, it was just...
They fell in the hole, slept in a cave, and then all of a sudden they magically can reappear at their house? What the hell?
Yeah. Oh, man. So they got, he gives her a weird massage where it's too hard. They both look like they could use a shower, but she sends him into the shower.
Yeah, she's like, please, just 2 minutes. My back needs it. He's like, I'm tired. She's like, I am too.
Y'all both slept on the ground in a cave. I mean,
get over it.
Okay. I love this scene. This might be my favorite part of the movie. Stepping back, I mean, there's a lot of things I like in this movie. I really appreciate this next scene. So he is in the shower, and she is driving into town. And basically, everything she does in the car, she stops. He kind of slumps over and presses his head into the wall, and then she turns, and he kind of whips around, and it's really good. So everything she does with the car, he kind of does in the shower with his body.
Yes.
And that itself, especially like when you understand what they're showing with that, so it's kind of establishing that some kind of link is there that wasn't there before. But also the camera angles.
Oh, yeah.
Good grief. I mean, really, it was really impressive. The choice of camera angles with him in the shower and mirroring like the way they were doing like the overview of the car and stuff. It was great.
It was great. It was really great work there.
Yeah.
I like the way he was like whipping around and everything. Because once you realize it's because she's gone, and like you realize it's because they're somehow linked now.
Yeah.
And you see the car move and you see him move. And yeah, it was really.
Yeah. Well, it was a great concept. Very well executed.
Yes.
So I'll say that. You know,
Yeah.
whatever else I say about this movie, whatever else I pick, man, this scene was great.
The shower scene was her favorite.
Shower scene was my favorite. So he goes to the doctor. He lets the doctor know, you know, he's having some anxiety issues or whatever. This is an ongoing joke. The doctor prescribes him some diazepam. And he's like, oh, Valium. Doctor's like, they call it diazepam now.
Yeah.
That's a joke that will come back again. It's pretty funny.
Yes.
The doctor says something about this missing couple that we had seen the search for at the beginning of the movie. So Tim starts stalking this missing couple, Facebook stalking them. He's just being so weird about...
Can you stalk a missing couple?
I don't know.
I don't know either. When you said that, it made me think, can you stalk somebody who's missing or dead?
I don't know what other word to use.
I mean, it's stalking. He's looking into the missing couple.
Yes. Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
better. In the meantime, Jamie stops over to welcome them to the neighborhood. He's got some wine with him, and he's like, I don't know if I'll drink that. And Millie's like, oh, Tim drinks anything, which was funny.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting to have a real life couple as a couple here, because I don't know anything about Alison Brie's and Dave Franco's marriage in real life. I don't know. I'm assuming they don't have these problems. I'm sure they have problems, but not these particular problems. I just think it's an interesting dynamic because they're acting their individual roles, but like now they're actually as a couple acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not just two unrelated actors acting with each other in the role as a couple. There's like a couple acting in the role as another couple and as individuals. It's an interesting dynamic. I know
it was.
Yeah. So she makes this joke about Tim will drink anything, you know. So this is the first time where they kind of say straight out that cave that they had fallen into, there's cult vibes in it. With like the pews and all the bells and everything.
Yeah, Tim asks Jamie about it.
Yes. And Jamie admits that there actually did used to be a chapel out there in the woods.
Yes.
And so he's like, oh, okay, so what was
that makes sense with the pew and the bell, and yeah.
It all makes sense. And they kind of start bickering in front of Jamie about... Because Tim does all the cooking, and they're going back and forth about it because he does all the cooking, but then, you know, he doesn't have a driver's license. And
he feels like he's being held captive, and all he can do is feed her.
Yeah, and she gets really smart about it. She's like,
well, if I'm holding you captive, you can leave.
Yeah, there's something about him being the oldest person without a driver. Something about him.
Yeah, about him not having a driver's license.
Yeah. So... we don't know what to make of Jamie here. We know to make something of Jamie, but not quite. He's very touchy.
Yes.
With Millie.
Yes.
So you think one thing, they zig and then they zag with Jamie, though. So after dinner, Millie and Tim are going for it, and their lips are sticking together.
Yes.
And they pull apart, and Millie thinks Tim is bitten her. He's like, no, I didn't do that. But she's like, you're just making excuses not to fuck me.
Yeah, if you don't want to fuck me, just tell me. And she stomps upstairs.
Yes. I like this. She wakes up in the middle of the night. It was funny because Tim and Millie both feel kind of dirty the whole movie. They both seem to me like these people, they don't shower enough, or like even Millie, Tim definitely is like, you got to tell this man to take a shower. And so anyway, her hair was making me insane.
Yes.
Get it together. That's
like, honey, let me come over and braid it for you.
Do something, because that's going to get caught in the machinery. And when you're at home, it's one thing. But anyway, it was a lot of hair.
Yeah.
So when this scene happened, I thought it was very funny. They're laying in bed. She wakes up. She hears this weird noise, and she wakes up, and her hair is like snaked down his throat, like he's choking on her hair.
Yeah, because she's like, honey, get off my hair. And she's on her side laying away from him, and you see her moving her head, And she's like, honey, get off my hair. You're on my hair. And so she kind of leans up and looks, and like all this hair is just down his throat, and she's pulling and he's trying to pull it out.
This is the first bit of hair horror in this movie, and it's not even the one that bothers me the most. Yeah, it's all down like big.
That bothered me because I'm like, a stray hair is left in your throat, and you're going to be feeling that for days until you can get it out. I hate that feeling of hair down my throat.
I hate that feeling of hair down my throat. And they play with that in the next scene, in the next morning, where he feels something in his mouth, and it's a hair. It's not down his throat that we can tell, but it looks like it's coming out of his gums.
Yeah.
I mean,
through his teeth.
My whole asshole puckered. I was just trying to ball up into myself, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it was bad. If that stuff bothers you, that scene might give you a little creep.
Yeah, I just got the willies. He's going to do this tour, this band, and she's got to take him to the train.
So he can take it into the city.
Yes. And she tells him, like, maybe this is good, because maybe we need a little space. And he's like, well, what do you mean? She's like, I don't want to keep you prisoner, but it's like she's fucking with him. She's fucking with him, but not really,
Yeah.
And so he gets to the train station. He just has a fucking full-blown panic attack.
Yes.
And he's wandering off into traffic. And he wanders to her school.
Yeah.
Ends up there. One of her students is the daughter of the man from the beginning of the movie with the dogs. And she is drawing a picture because she saw the dogs after they had kind of gotten all morphed together. So she's drawing that picture. And Millie's looking at it like, wow, what the fuck is this? He's still out there wandering in traffic for the moment. And she is on a Zoom call with her friend. She's really down-talking him to her friend. Or her friend is really down-talking Tim. Being like, he's a 35-year-old wanting to be a rock star.
He needs to get a real job and a driver's license.
Which is all true. I mean, like, no, normally I say, find your bliss, but when you finding your bliss is draining the soul out of somebody else, it's not okay anymore.
Yeah. 20.
I know people that didn't get their driver's licenses until they were like much later in life, but yeah.
But
like you're complaining about you have to rely on this person, so unrely on them. Do the thing.
Go get your driver's license.
Yeah, go get your driver's license. So while they're having this conversation, she looks up and Tim is wandering around in the playground during recess. And all the kids are just, hey, look, there's a weird, dirty man here.
Yeah, and he is looking rough.
He's looking rough. Look, okay. I understand just because your chosen career is to shape the minds of young children, you don't have to be a saint. That's just your job. But having said that, keep your personal life at home. I know your husband shows up and, we haven't fucked in a month. And he shows up and now he wants to fuck. Okay, put a pin in it. Say, hey, honey, we head back to the house. But no. They choose to fuck in the bathroom stall, the little boy's bathroom stall.
Yes. She pulls him in. She's like, you have to go home. Why aren't you on the train? And he's like, I couldn't leave you. I felt this pull. I need you. I've got to have you. And I'm like,
okay.
Really? You didn't need or had to have her last night when she wanted you.
Yep. So they're fucking in the stall. They're finished. And you see feet at the door. There's a kid wants to use the bathroom. And I guess this kid is like, somebody's in there. I don't know. Right? And he walks away. And so they're trying to, get apart. And they can't get apart. And we have this terrible scene. I wrote in my notes, oh no, not the stretchy dick.
I was just watching and I was like, who's going to be in more pain?
His dick literally was like trying to pull out. His dick, they do a shot like straight down. His dick literally was like silly putty trying to pull out. It was wild. And it was terrible.
I love the way she unsticks them though. She covers his mouth and just pushes his whole body so that pulls it out.
I mean, it couldn't have felt good for either one of them. Nobody won in this situation.
Every time I think about that scene though, I think about like it would have added a little humor if they'd done the pops.
Oh my god. Oh, no. No. I was already traumatized with the silly putty dick. I just couldn't. And the kid comes back. Yeah. And
But
she's like,
he's got Jamie with him.
he's got Jamie with him, and they're trying to get out of the stall, and she comes out of the stall, and she's got to tell him, like, dude, put your fucking feet up on the toilet. Have you never smoked in the bathroom? You gotta get your feet up on the toilet. And she sneaks out of the stall, and Jamie's there with the kid, and she's like, sorry. He's like, okay, next time.
Try to make it to the staff bathroom.
But he doesn't realize that she was fucking in there, because I think he thinks she's having her period, because she gets blood dripping down her leg.
Yeah, because he looks down, and he's like, make sure you clean yourself up first.
So he thinks that that's what she's talking about. And then while he's leaving, he happens to look back up, and he sees Tim's foot drop under the stall.
Yeah.
So now he knows what was up. It was not lady. Well, it was lady problems, but not anything he was imagining. What a scene. So if this had happened to me, and this was, I know he's not her boss. He's not her boss. I mean, he's on the hiring committee, so I guess there's some seniority, but he's not like her boss or anything. If this had happened to me, if I'd been in her position, and I had this mortifying experience, and, you know, this person had discovered what was going on, I would have been like, I'm not going to look at that person ever again.
Well, she doesn't know that Jamie saw Tim's foot drop back down.
It's not that. Best case scenario, she's having a very public menstrual cycle. Okay. That's what he thinks. Yeah. My impression was that she realized when he looked up and she saw where his eyes gone, she realized that he had seen it.
Oh, okay.
But either way, I would have been mortified. I would have been like, I'm staying home. I'm not going to look this person in the eye ever again. We're just all going to move on with our lives. Okay? She doesn't do that. She goes over there, and she has to not. He doesn't have a doorbell. He has what sounds like a cowbell.
Yeah.
We don't see it yet.
Yeah.
It just sounds like she's shaking the cowbell. I do really appreciate Jamie's house.
Yeah,
interior.
it was a really nice house.
I like his interior design choices.
Yes.
But we get a little bit of his backstory here. He used to be, I guess, married because he wants to show her a wedding tape. But he used to be married. He doesn't actually say what happened to his husband.
No.
And he's going to show her the wedding tape, but then she looks out the window and she sees Tim staring into the window like a fucking psychopath. She's like, I gotta go.
Yeah, sorry. We'll watch this another time.
We'll do it another time. I gotta go. And so anyway, Tim continues to investigate the missing couple. He's shirking all of his musician duties. He does realize that the missing couple was also in that same area of the woods by the cave that he and Millie had been in.
Yeah, he finds a picture of a smaller bell than the one that was in the side. It's like a small bell right behind them, and they saw those bells out in the woods when they went for their hike.
Right, that's what he had thought was a trail marking.
Yes.
Well, it was a trail marking, but of a different kind, yeah. So while he's doing this, you hear this stomp, 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 and smash, Millie smashing her face into the door. I try to realize, where have I heard this before? Like a person running down the hall. The first Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
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 That's what this reminded me of. But she's just running, and then you just see her face, because it's this frosted glass, and you see her face kind of smashed into it.
Yeah, because he's in his office area. Yeah.
And you see her feet, it's like she's levitating, like her feet are up in the air. What are you doing? What is happening? We get this very dramatic cut to the kitchen table. But Tim, he's got some brain cells working. He's putting two and two together with this couple and the cave. We're getting the picture here. And he's trying to explain it to her. He was explaining about when they were sticking together. And she's like, I thought you said that was mildew. And he's like, since when do I know anything about mildew? I mean, that's true.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but why would you, if he had said that in the cave, oh, it's mildew, she'd be like, what makes you say it's mildew?
Yeah. I mean, I would have been like, this is not mildew.
This is not mildew. I'm not a scientist, but I know that's
it ain't
not
mildew.
I know that's not mildew. I've never seen
mildew get stringy like this.
No. Anyway, they come to the conclusion that they should keep their distance with everything going on. So he's going to sleep in the spare room. And
this is a great scene.
She's walking out, and then she stops. And he's like, you stopped right there at the threshold. You stopped there because I wanted you to stop.
Yep.
And I was like, we're exerting our wills upon each other? Like, I can't, because it feels like at first, this is not mutual. and this is going to be one of my problems with this movie. This is just him. It seems at first like it's going to be a mutual thing, like a mutual desire thing, but it's not. And it's made clear here. It's just codependency. It's just him exerting his failures onto her like a tentacle. Like he's just sucking, he's like
sucking the life out
of her. Okay. So she tells him her parents are coming for lunch that weekend.
Yes.
And she's like, okay, look, whatever you think is going on, I need you to disappear before my parents get here.
Yeah.
I do not want to have to babysit you and entertain my parents at the same time. And he offers to go to the cave, and she's like, just go away. I don't care what you do, just go away. Okay. The saw comes back.
They've both gone to bed. Her in the main bedroom, him in the spare room.
Yes. And all of a sudden, he's sliding down the hall, like he's on his back sliding down the hallway, and he can't stop. Millie is in the doorway. She's getting all spooky and twisted up. This reminded me of the dance sequence in the 2018 version of Suspiria, where she's getting all twisted around and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's very clear here again. I mean, he's getting dragged too. But it's a pretty straightforward kind of motion with him. With her, she's getting all contorted and twisted up.
Yeah.
Like it's much more of a...
Doing like back bends and stuff.
Yes. It's not an equal burden here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It occurs to him that if we take the Valium, or she calls it Valium. This is where the joke comes back. She calls it Valium. He's like, it's diazepam now. So if we take some of that, it'll relax our muscles, because they end up running into each other in the hallway. They get pulled towards each other in the hallway. They end up running into each other, and their arms start to merge. Like her hand, like they're slipping under each other's skin and stuff. It's really cool. And there's this little table there, and that's where the Valium is. And he's like, if we take enough, our muscles will relax and we'll be able to pull apart. And they're shoveling it in. He's like, it'll work faster if we snort it.
Yeah.
Anybody that knows anything about any kind of muscle relaxants or any relaxants at all already knows how this is going to end, which is they're trying to use this to relax their muscles and push away from each other, kind of tear apart from each other. Like, okay, yes, the idea is, okay, yes, we'll relax and be able to pull away from each other, but now you are full of Valium and you're going to lose all control of your muscles. So you're trying to push away from each other, and about 10 seconds into it, they just kind of fall out because the Valium's kicked in. So they're just like, nah.
Yeah.
This is where the saw comes back. He wakes up. She has taped him to a chair at the kitchen table.
Yeah. Their arm is still attached. Well,
their arm is still, they're still merged at the arm. She didn't take as much Valium as him, so she's like up and moving faster. The power saw is there. You're like, oh, this is a...
Yeah, he's like, you can't do this.
You can't. You're right-handed.
Yeah.
And you're drunk. This is bad. And these jigsaws, they did show us earlier, if, and he wasn't expecting it, and it jumped. It's like, these big jigsaws, man, if you've never dealt with it before, the first time you turn one on, you're going to be like, what? And that's what happens. She turns it on. It's not her good hand.
Yeah.
And so it jumps, but she does manage to get control of it. And she's getting ready. Their arms are kind of stretched apart. So it's really just, they've relaxed enough with the Valium that they just have skin stretching between their arms, but it's not coming apart. The skin and tissue. So they're going to need the saw. And she's like, okay. She's getting ready to cut them. She gets a grip on the saw. She has a sense of its power now. And right before she cuts it, she's like, obviously, I'm sorry I didn't believe you before. Like, everything you're saying about everything that was going on in the cave is, obviously.
Something happened.
Obviously, you were right. Actually, considering what just happened with the jigsaw.
They're still alive.
They're still alive. They're not too much worse for the whale. I mean, they got to get bandaged up. But I'm like, that's actually impressive considering you were drunk and right-handed.
Yeah.
So they get bandaged up, and she tells him not to do anything stupid.
Yes.
So he immediately decides he's going to go to the last place that he knows this missing couple was.
Yes, and she's going to Jamie's to get her keys.
Right, so they can go to the hospital. And Jamie's not there, but she can hear something like TV or something. She follows the sound. There's a wedding tape playing in this dark, creepy room. Here we get all this stuff is looking familiar. There's this bell over this altar. We see Tim in the cave. We're getting these scenes intercut, so we're making all the connections.
Yes.
Tim's in the cave. He decides to look a little more closely. I don't know how he spent a whole night in there without noticing any of this, but he decides to look a little more closely. There's faces in the walls.
Yes.
And there's weird things painted on the ceiling. And Jamie had talked earlier when he was talking about his husband. Well, it was around the same conversation talking about his husband, about how, was it Plato or Socrates?
Yes.
One of them.
I think it was Plato.
And you discover your soulmate, because the idea was that men and women used to be like one thing attached to the back, and then they got split, and you spend your whole life searching for that other part or whatever. So that's what all these symbols and stuff were, that they were seeing. And we see it again on this wedding tape. So we're going back and forth between the cave and the wedding tape. So Jamie's part of this cult in the woods with the bells and the hole in the ground and all that.
And they lost their church.
And they lost their church because they fell into this hole in the ground. So now Jamie pops up, and he's slashing away at Millie. So she realizes now what has happened is when he and Jamie and his husband, it's not like he got divorced or the guy died or anything. They've just kind of
become one.
They've become one, quite literally. Quite literally. Millie escapes from Jamie, and Tim escapes from the cave, and they're in the driveway. So, Jamie got a really good cut in on Millie. So they both get back separately. They get back to their driveway. They're coming at each other from different angles of their driveway. They're getting pulled towards each other against their will, even though they're trying to stay away from each other. And Tim has a knife from the cave, and he's basically like, don't know what you got till it's gone. Now I realize.
I know how to fix this.
Yes. And he's doing the proposing thing with the empty hands that she had done at the party, and he's like, close your eyes, and
I'm thinking, y'all ain't got time for this shit.
You don't got time for this. She's already bleeding very badly. She tells him, I want my final post on Facebook to be BRB. We get this next scene. You think, okay, she's dead.
Yeah.
And that solves the problem.
Yeah.
He was going to kill himself to solve the problem, but she's already dying, so that would solve the problem. But then we get the next scene. He's carrying her into the house. You're like, okay, well, wait, what happened? Well, he stopped her bleeding by letting their arms merge together again.
Yeah.
So he puts on the Spice World album, which we had learned earlier in the movie was her favorite album.
Yes.
Don't know what are they doing here? He's like, well, I thought we were going to use this album for our first dance, but I guess we're not going to do that now. So as they dance, they're starting to merge. It's pretty standard for what it is, except for these eyeballs. Let's talk about these eyeballs. My God. Okay, I said that shower scene was my favorite scene in the movie. It absolutely is. I really appreciate the merging of their eyeballs, because it's like their eyelashes merged, like intertwined, and then their eyeballs are getting so, it's just this, it's great. They're just,
it was great. It was. Better than seeing an eyeball popped out.
Oh yeah, it was much better than that. It was, and it was like, it felt so, I don't know. It's just something about like with the hair and the teeth.
Yeah.
You could feel the tension and the stress of this moment,
Yeah.
It's weird because they're like, we're ready, we're going to do this. And watching the merge scene, and they start making these voices, I feel like they're having regrets. I like by the time their eyeballs are starting to merge, I'm like, they're like, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Yeah, it was good though.
It was, yeah. So they get that. I do have this question. We're not doing like a standard transition between scenes. They're just kind of panning the camera around, and they pan the camera back, and we can tell things have changed. And her mom and dad pull up. I'm like, do they not? There's blood in this driveway.
I don't think they noticed.
They didn't notice. And they go and they knock on the door, and Tim and Millie have the bell now. They have the magic cowbell that we've been seeing in the forest. So you realize when you hear them ring the bell, this is the same cowbell thing that
was above Jamie's door.
And it's clearly the combined Tim and Millie.
Yes.
Here's my question. They come to the door. It's like, hey, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
these are Millie's parents. Okay, so reading about the cast notes and stuff. So, Alison Brie was actually playing that character there. And then they put some of Dave Franco's features on to give the idea of the merged person.
Merge, yeah.
But I'm like, okay, I get all that. But, like, you look at this person and you say, that is not Alison Brie. If that's your child, you would look at them and say, that's, hey, who are you? Why are you in my child's house?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing I noticed the most, I guess they somehow had lifts on her the entire movie if she played that last scene, because she was like 2 inches shorter.
She was shorter. Yes, the final combined person was smaller than either of the two constituent people.
Yeah, I mean, it was smaller than what she had been the entire movie. So I'm like, she must have been wearing heels the entire movie.
Yeah. Or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seemed weird. But that was the biggest thing for me. I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
I guess the meta commentary is that the sum of their parts is not as great as either one of them individually. You know?
But the movie stops when she opens the door, and it's like, wait a minute, I want to see the parents' reaction.
The parents will be like, where the fuck is my daughter?
Yeah, like, hello?
What is going on?
I want to see the parent freak out.
Because their Facebook page is still just the two of them separately. I mean, obviously, it's not a super smooth metaphor about toxic relationships and codependency, but it's definitely what we're doing here.
It's on that road.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of really great moments. Again, we're not breaking any barriers here. We're not like tearing down walls or anything here. A lot of it's pretty standard. A lot of it very predictable beats. Like we start seeing things in the background, and you start, we're doing the Agatha Christie thing where you can actually see the plot being built from the very first scene, which is fine.
Yeah.
There's definitely some sort of inner peace and satisfaction I get from that kind of stuff. It doesn't like excite me the way that things that are not so straightforward do. But I liked it a lot. Good body horror. Like, again, that shower scene is top line, man. That is good stuff. And the eyeball merge is good stuff.
I liked it too. I mean, it was a little bit of a different plot, but I mean, it had some really good scenes, some really well done scenes. Yeah. So
it's a little, like I said, it's a little paint by numbers in some spots. But I also think, again, if you get somebody, I think it shows you though, and I actually think that might actually be to its benefit, because I was on my fence about my rating, but I think this probably knocked my rating up a little bit, because it is kind of like plot wise and stuff like that. It's kind of paint by numbers, but then you have good performances by like Alison Brie, which I don't know if she's probably got one. They all do, but I don't know if I can off the top of my head think of a bad Alison Brie performance.
Yeah.
You can have a pretty paint by numbers story, interesting concept, but nothing, like I said, nothing earth shattering. But when you have good performances and when you have interesting scenes, good, well thought out scenes like the shower scene itself.
Yeah.
That can make the difference. That can make something that might not have been interesting work.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they definitely make it work.
Yeah. Not my favorite movie from last year.
No.
That's probably going to go to Bring Her Back, but we'll see. We'll Bring Her Back when we talk about Bring Her Back, but that's not today. Today we're talking about Together. So, I enjoyed it a lot.
I think you should definitely check it out if you're on the fence about it, or you're just not sure, or you just need a good movie pick.
For the shower scene alone. Yeah. For the shower scene alone, I would recommend the movie.
Yes.
Yes. I'm going to give it 3.5 unplugged power tools out of 5.
I was going to give it 3 merges.
3 merges? Okay. Well, I was going back and forth between 3 unplugged power tools, between 3 and 3.5. But, how about 3? You say 3 Rat Kings. Give it 3 Rat Kings out of 5.
3 merges. You know how I feel about rats.
I really am in love with the shower scene.
Yeah, the shower scene was really good.
Yeah. So, but I'm right there. 3 to 3.5. depending on what kind of mood you're in. I think if I'm thinking about the shower scene, it's 3.5. If I'm thinking about the movie as a whole, it's 3. So that's where I am.
And I think our mascot liked the movie also.
He was just getting his chicken and kibble at the time. He didn't actually care too much. He knows better than to drink out of strange ponds.
Yes, he does.
He's very picky about his water supply.
He's picky about everything.
Yes, he is. But he's a good boy. Anyway, that is it for Together. And we're going to be starting off March with When Harry Met Sally. And we'll have the full schedule up there on the website if you want to check that out. That address is in our show notes. You can also send us an email. Follow us on our socials.
Tell us what you thought of Together after you watch it.
Let's talk about Together, man.
Yeah.
I would love to talk to somebody about how they did that shower scene. It was, or the eyeball scene, either one.
Yeah.
And yeah, so let us know. And until next week when we talk about When Harry Met Sally.
Later.
Later.